Hi, thank you for joining me today. Today is not going to be a beer review. It's just going to be to answer a question that I constantly get to this day. I've said it since I um, started my channel back on May 1st of 2020. And the reason why I call my bar the Hard Pour Pub is because I pour all of my beers hard. And I watch other beer reviewers on YouTube. It's no secret, I say it all the time. I notice some pour hard, some don't. The most common way to pour a beer is down the side of the glass. And I'm not saying that's the wrong way to do it, I'm just saying that's the way that those people choose to do it. But I want to explain to you why I pour all of my beers hard down the center of the glass. And I'm going to use this. It's not a review. I recently reviewed this PB and Jams. It's a kicker. It's like 8% alcohol. So I'm going to film this in a different style than what I normally do. I'm going to bring the camera closer because I want you to hear as well as see what it is I'm talking about when I pour a beer hard. I say it's not a matter of pouring it hard and you end up with a big head and now you got to wait 10 minutes before the head melts and you can drink it. That's not it at all. You can drink it immediately. It's not that. But here's the story. So in 2000, I was in Frankfurt, Germany, and I was walking around. It was July. It was hot, and they don't really have air conditioning over there. The hotel I stayed at did not have air conditioning. And I thought, man, it's hot over here. Why don't they have air conditioning? So I figured the next day I would just walk around the city and find a hotel that had air conditioning. And couldn't find one. I ran into an American while I was over there. He was a pilot, I think, for United Airlines. And we were talking, and I said, hey, is there... The hotel they put you guys in, does it have air conditioning? He said, no, they don't have air conditioning over here. And I thought that was odd, but hopefully they have it now. I mean, it's 2021. Hopefully they have air conditioning over there now. But at the time, couldn't find a hotel that had air conditioning. And it was hot, so I was enjoying a beer. Well, I went into this particular bar, and I ordered a beer. It wasn't crowded. Lady bartender, I'll use this as an example. Ugh. So their tap was not like this, where you see the glass is here and the tap is this high from the glass. Over there, it was like the tap was like way, well, you couldn't even, up here. It was like, it was like a 1.5 foot difference between the tap and the glass. And she just put the glass down and pulled the handle. And I mean, the beer shot like a 1.5 foot into the glass, so it immediately filled up with head. Because back in those days, I was a light beer drinker, and I didn't like anything but light beers. And so of course, you end up with like 1/2 inch of light beer in the glass, and the rest of it was full of foam. And she just sat back, she stood back and she just sat there and stared at it. So, I was hot, I was thirsty. I asked her, I said, is there a problem with the keg? I mean, do you need to change it or something? And she said, no, I must guarantee the beer. And I said, guarantee the beer? What are you talking about? And she said, the head has to last at least 2 minutes before it melts or I can't serve it. And I said, well, I'm an American. We don't like head on our beers, so if you could just dump that foam out, tilt the glass and pour the beer down the side of the glass, I'd appreciate it. And she said, absolutely not. Can't do it. So, is that the normal way to pour it in Germany? I'm going to say no, because I've had other German people comment on people who pour their beers hard, saying, oh, it broke my heart to see it poured that way. Well, beer is like a food, Not everybody likes the food the same way. Some people like well done, some people like rare, and there are people out there that like everything in the middle. So, if you like pouring your beer down the side of the glass, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I what I learned from that little experience I had in Germany was to pour it down the center of the glass. And this is what I found. If you have a bottle of beer or a can of beer and you open it and you drink it right from the bottle or right from the can, all you're going to get is the taste. I mean, unless you're like reviewing a beer, I don't know normal people at a party who are going to pop the top on a beer and then stick it up their nose and sniff it before they drink it. Not many people are going to do that. Beer reviewers, yes. But you got to get the beer into a glass. If you don't pour it into a glass, this is what you're going to miss. So I'm going to go get the camera, bring it over here a little bit closer, because I want you guys to see and hear what you're missing if you don't pour your beers hard. So let me go get the camera. Okay, so I've got the camera over closer to the glass. I'm going to take the lid off. And now I'm going to pour this hard. I'm going to try to be very quiet because I want you to hear. You know, there's videos out there called AMSR or ASMR, whatever it is. It's supposed to be relaxing sounds. Listen to this sound, and this is what you're missing if you don't pour it hard. And see that? See the bubbles? How the beer is filtering down through the bubbles, and the beer is getting taller in the glass here as the beer kind of filters its way down. It's a visual. You don't get the sound of the beer going into the glass, and you don't get to look at this. Now, some people might not like looking at it. Well, that's fine. But I do. And I'm guessing that a lot of you have never even paid attention to it. You just look at the beer and think, oh, it's got a big head, what a waste. Now the beer's gone flat. Well, move this out of the way. Try to get this. Okay, you can still see there's carbonation going up in there. Okay, it doesn't cause the beer to go flat. All of the, let me pick this up. All of the beer that is in the head, it's going to filter its way down. It's like Plinko, you know. You can actually sit there and watch the liquid as it's going down, and it causes the beer to get taller in the glass. It's something to look at, and it's something to hear. Okay, so I'm going to set this one aside. I got another glass here. I got half the beer left. Now I'm going to pour this down the side of the glass like so-called normal people do. Okay, look at that. There's no head. It's a minimal head, and did you hear anything? Trust me, I did not press mute on the sound. You miss it. Now, does this look attractive to you? I mean, this beer with no head, or this where you can watch the beer filter down through the bubbles. So I don't put a lot of stock in the way normal beer reviewers review. Okay, I don't say that to be mean. I say that because when I started reviewing beers, one of the reasons I started doing it was because I was watching beer reviewers on YouTube before I started reviewing them. And I kind of felt like they were using language that I didn't understand. Unless you took some sort of beer class and you had the opportunity to smell all the different varieties of hops, I don't think that a normal person drinking beer, if you put a hop in front of them, they could sniff it and say, oh yeah, that's a Simcoe hop. Oh yeah, that's an All-American hop. Oh yeah, that's a Mosaic hops. The average person, I don't think, would know that. So I don't say those. In my reviews, I don't say it. I just say it smells like hops because I want to talk to the average person out there, not the people who are like all in the know. If they're in the beer business and they know, this malt smells like, tastes like this, and this hop smells like that, and gives it this kind of a flavor. Those aren't the people that I'm really targeting with my videos. I just want to target normal everyday people who probably drink the same beer and have drank it their whole life, and I'm just trying to get them to open their horizons because, like I said, I drank cheap light beers for a long, long time. And once I started reviewing beers, I said, well, I'm not going to just review light beers that I know I like. I'm going to review all the different beers, and some I'll like and some I won't. I can tell you what, I did not like IPAs until I started reviewing the channel. Now I love them, and I'm going to take a few sips of this, That is delicious. PB and Jams by Abita. I just did that review. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in a glass, and I love it. So this is the sad looking version of it that I poured down the side of the glass. It just looks lackluster. It doesn't look like it's anything special. Pouring it down the side of the glass, and let's get back to the head. A lot of beer reviewers, that's a thing they do, is, oh, this is a 2-finger head, or this is a 3-finger head. If you pour it down the side of the glass, you can make the head however size you want to. I mean, this one had no head. I mean, if you want to pour it down the side of the glass for half the time and then do the last half harder so you get a little head, you can do it. You can adjust the size of the head. It's not a magic trick. It's just, I mean, that's why I don't give any mention to how big the head is. This is the hard pour pub. All my beers are going to be poured hard like this. Like, look at this. There's no lacing on this glass. For people that don't know, lacing is the foam, the way it sticks to the glass. This glass has plenty of beautiful lacing on it. Why? Because I poured the beer hard and it had a nice big head. Now, do all the beers that I pour hard end up with lacing like this? Absolutely not. Because some beers, even though you pour it hard, that head will dissipate very quickly. Not always does the foam stick to the glass like that. Some of it slides down, some of it just pops and melts and goes away. This is beautiful. This is another thing that you don't get if you drink a beer out of a bottle or out of a can. You're not going to get it. I personally like to look at this. I like the sound that it makes going into the glass, pouring it hard down the center. Matter of fact, Scylla, how should beer be poured?
Don't pour it down the side of the glass. Pour it hard.
Yeah. She knows. She knows. So, all I'm saying is, I'm not telling you that the way you pour it is wrong, the way I pour it is right. I'm not saying it at all. I'm just saying this is a different way to do it, and I'm telling you why I do it. I've been doing it like this since 2000, and honestly, I think I get more out of it, because if we both went to the store and bought a single bottle of this, and you bought it, popped the top, and just started drinking it like this, all you're going to get is the flavor of the beer. That's all you're going to get. The way I pour it, I get the sound. What I pay for, I'm getting the sound, I'm getting the sight, and I'm getting the flavors. Now the aromas, churning the beer up like that, I think it really gets those aromas going. Not always, because there's been plenty of beers that I poured hard and then I smell it and I really don't get anything off of it. But, I say, here to dispel the rumors, pouring the beer hard does not make it go flat. If it was flat when you started, it's going to be flat when you're finished. If it has carbonation when you started, it's still going to have carbonation in it after you've poured it, even if you poured it hard down the glass. I say this is just not, it's not attractive to me. I'm a man. I'm visually attracted to things. And this is not visually attractive to me. This, to me, looks like a bland beer in a glass. Whereas this one over here is attractive. There's more to it. I can see more. It's just a better looking beer. It's the exact same beer. It's just poured two different ways. some people worry that if they pour it hard, the head's going to overflow and make a mess all over everything. Listen, if you think the foam is coming up so fast that you got to stop pouring for a minute, just stop pouring for a minute. It's not a race. Like I say, if you're dying of thirst, you shouldn't be having a beer anyway. Go grab yourself a glass of water. But if you want to have a beer and you want to enjoy it, listen, just try it. Do an experiment. Pour it down the side of the glass, then pour one hard down the center. See which one you like best. I mean, you might surprise yourself. You might think, hey, this is a better way of doing it. And then when your friends look at you and say, like, what kind of weirdo pours their beer like that? Maybe you can teach them. Some people just are taught one way, and that's the way it is for the rest of their life. They don't even want to entertain thoughts of doing something differently. So sometimes it just takes a fresh perspective to kind of open your eyes up a little bit. And I hope I've done that today. So I'm going to finish drinking these. I'll finish this one first because it just looks so sad. I mean, it just doesn't taste right. That tastes better. It tastes better. So, thank you to that bartender all those years ago in 2000 in Frankfurt, Germany, who introduced me to pouring it hard down the glass. Like I said, it was not a dark beer. A lot of dark beers will tell you right on the label, pour it hard. I do it light beer, regular beer, dark beer. I do it all because, like I say, I'm getting more for my money. I'm getting the sound, I'm getting the visual, and I just think it tastes better. So give it a try. Will it work for you? Maybe. Maybe not. But try it. Try it. You might like it. So thanks for stopping by the Hard Pour Pub. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Till then.